This is going great.
Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Mr. P's class back with another video.
Wow. Should be a radio voice.
Sports commentator.
Or no.
You should see me in a laser tag. Oh, yeah.
Great.
Great. Tell people how to play.
All right, here we go. Quadratic inequalities. Both those words seem really intimidating, but we know quadratics. We feel pretty good about that, mostly. Okay, we're going to get more experience with this one. Inequalities is just, it's not equal. In an inequality, it's either going to be greater than, less than, some kind of relationship. So that's why we're going to use these symbols. All right, here's the way that you'll never forget this, ever. Maybe you've heard this. I don't think I've said it, actually. My riddle to you is, what's less than 3?
Heart.
2.
Heart.
1.
2, 1.
A heart.
Anything else?
Remember this riddle is a heart.
You have said this one.
I have? It's mine. Copyright. Don't share it with any other teachers. What's less than 3? If you're doing texting, well, you don't do this anymore, but old school, before there were emojis, you'd make a heart, and it would be less than 3.
Looking cute.
I think that actually, I need to update it, because you guys, you don't write this anymore.
It works.
It does work. All right, what if you, your sweetheart, you go ahead and you texted this to him. You're like, you, right? Is that gonna connect in the same way?
It just looks like a fish.
It doesn't make sense, right? The only way, listen up, the only way to make a heart is less than 3. Less than 3, right? So forever, you will always remember that this is the less than symbol. What's less than 3? A heart. Okay? It's just a way to remember which way goes, which one goes which way. The other way to think about it is, if you had 1 and 3, the alligator is really hungry all the time, which is, he's really small. He's all mouth.
The frog.
It's always going to eat the larger number, okay? So that's also, it opens towards the larger number. But less than 3, if we're reading a number sentence, like this over here now, -3 is less than or equal to x, is less than or equal to 5. So you guys just think about it. Does that make sense? Is it less than x? Okay. So a lot of this is taking a moment thinking about it. Why do you guys think that, or what's a rule that we can make that these symbols here are open dot, and these symbols here are closed dot? What's a way to remember that? What do you think? Yeah, Ellie?
The closed dots have the less than or equal to, or greater than or equal to.
Yeah, so just even looking at the symbols, that's perfect. Even just looking at the symbols, right? The symbols have an extra component to it. It has this equal option, and that's why it's going to be closed dot. So even if it's just you're thinking about it like as a symbol, if there's no line on the bottom, that means it's not equal to. It doesn't include that point. So that's why we would leave that open. That's going to be on a point, and if it's not equal, it can't be equal to it, then we're going to leave it open. Okay, so we did this actually. I remember when we did the step functions, which I won't remind you of those, but we had to learn this. Have it on your notes. That's kind of the thing that, and the Kahoot will review that, and as long as you can remember that and what's less than 3, I think we'll be all right. All right, here is my open blank question here. When we multiply and divide by an inequality, one of these guys, multiply or divide an inequality by a what, we change the direction of the inequality. And I don't know that you would have learned this one, but if you look in this example, maybe the example will help you. If I had -2x is greater than or equal to 10, right? If I want to solve for x, I divide by a -2. And then what happened to the inequality there, the symbol? What happened between here and here? It switches. Yeah. When we, by a negative. Yeah, if you don't know this, it's just a little rule. We have 1, 2, 3. We remember what's less than 3, open, close dot. Hey, if we divide or multiply by a negative, we got to switch the direction. So negative right here. So let's look at this example here. I already showed you this one when I divided by -2. I changed the direction. So first off, I want to solve for x. We deal with everything exactly the same. If it's an inequality or an equal sign, it's the same rules. So what am I going to do first if I want to get to x? We want to break those chains like an onion. Like an onion. Forgot how good of an onion drawer I am. Actually, you never remembered that. You never knew I was a good, because it's impossible. Bad at onions.
Don't put yourself
I'm gonna keep trying. I have like 50 days of school left.
Oh, man. No.
Closer to 60.
No, because there's like 70 days until my ACT.
We're under 100. We're past that point.
Like baby!
Build the rocket. We won't get it.
Check. Learned a new song today. What am I gonna do? Malik, what do you think?
Oh, you have to subtract 2.
Minus 2, minus 2. I didn't divide or multiply, so that didn't change anything. But pick someone else. Jimmy.
Jimmy, J-Money,
All right. Oh, Jimmy, Billy,
Billy Bob Joe.
Billy Bob Joe.
I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say you divide by -5.
What? I taught you something this year. All right.
Wow.
When we divide by a negative, what happens? What do we have to
Sign
do?
switches.
What?
Wow.
That's incredible.
Is that it?
That would be the answer. When we get to quadratics, when we get to quadratics, we'll just have to do a quadratic, but the prep is going to be to get everything to one side, which may entail us having to divide by a negative. That's why I want to show you that first, okay? All right, stay focused for this. We're gonna try to get through this to have time for a couple classwork problems. Maybe I'll do one of the classwork problems up here. But the steps, I'm going to do one step at a time for this problem. And in fact, I do want to go ahead and take, someone have their workbook out? Can you turn to the page 3.25? You have it right there?
Well, this is 0.8, but I don't know.
That's 103. Yeah, there were some weird things in the, yeah, it gets you there.
2.5.
Yeah, but that's not the right one. Okay, go to the 2.8 then. Yeah, what page is that? 103?
103.
Okay, so there's some discrepancies I'm seeing in the book versus the teacher's edition. So I gave you number 4?
103. 103.
103? All right, Amanda, can you tell me, can you read number 4 to me?
X squared plus x minus 12 is less than 0.
All right. All right, let's go ahead and do this problem on your paper. This is classwork number 4. We're going to do this one together because of our time limits right now. So first off, prep step, or prep. Get everything to one side. Are we ready with what we have going on right now? Pretty good? All right. So everything is to one side. If you had to move some things to the side, just like yesterday we had to do that before we started our quadratic, everything just has to be to one side equal to 0. Okay. So now we have that. We're going to go ahead and switch to be an equal sign. So let's go ahead and switch it. We're going to solve our x values using the quadratic formula and throw them on a number line. So this is going to be the bulk of the work. It's the bulk of the work. But this is, we're going to remember that this is my original formula right there. A, B, and C. A is 1, B is 1, C is -12. So first off, looking at that, and we're going to have a few solutions. But just to look a little further, let's go ahead and I hope they can see it. All right, let's do our discriminant first. B squared minus 4AC. We have 1 squared. That's nice. 4 times 1 times -12. 1 squared? 1. -4 times 1, -4. -4 times a -12, positive. Ooh, I like where this is going. What do we have there? What kind of number is that? 49? 49 is a?
Odd.
It is odd? What else is it? It is a perfect square, right? What times what gives me 49?
7.
Good. So we know because it's positive we're going to have 2 real solutions. Okay, so now, yeah, we have to do the rest of the problem. x is equal to negative b, which is negative 1, plus or minus root 49. Oh yeah, this is looking pretty good. I always do the discriminant first to tell me what I'm going to be looking for. Again, it's like fortune telling. You're going to see how many solutions you're going to get. Yeah, Anton.
But there's no like AC under the,
This part?
yeah,
Well, the reason why is because first I'm going to do my discriminant.
okay.
And that kind of does two things. It works out some of the problem and it tells me the number of solutions. Okay. So, good clarifying question there. So we're going to go with negative 7 plus or, sorry, negative 1 plus or minus 7 over 2. Look how quick that got to the end. What do I need to do now? Branch it, split it, whatever you want to call it. So we get x is negative 1 plus 7 over 2. We get x is negative 1 minus 7 over 2. So we're going to get our two x's right here. Go ahead and work those two x's. Double check their neighbor. Just give you 20 seconds for that. Again, this is number 4 from the classwork. So you're getting a jump on it. Man, we're going to have to rush to the foot dance contest. We may work a little bit on this tomorrow morning too. So if you get to the homework you're not sure, we'll have plenty of time tomorrow, because today was kind of rushed. Negative 1 plus 7, so 7 minus 1? 6 divided by 2?
3.
Negative 1 minus 7. Underwater a foot, go 7 feet further down. How far are you underwater?
Negative 8.
Negative 8 divided by 2?
Negative 4.
Negative 4. Okay, so we plotted, or we solved, using the quadratic formula now on a number line. I'm just going to go ahead and put, I'm going to put negative 4 and 3. Okay. Now, I want you to think about this. Let's see, these 2 points are closed dot because it was obviously a less than or equal to, or greater than or equal to. But what kind of problem do we have here? What's that one? Think of what's good. So what's less than 3, that's the start of our heart, right? So it's less than, it's not equal to option. So what kind of dot should I put here for my points?
Open.
Open. You see how I got that information? All right, now what we're going to do is, here's the situation. We're only going to have 2 options. We're going to have either an option where we're linking the two points, right? That's saying that your x value is somewhere in the middle. Or we're going to have an option where it's going in opposite directions. So the x value is either over here, greater than or equal to, or it's over here, less than or equal to negative 1. So here's what I suggest. All we have to do is plug in 0 to our original. And really what that's looking at is, where does 0 fall? Is it in this region, or this region? The middle, left, or right?
Middle.
Middle. So here's the deal. If, let's say 0 is like right there. If I plug in 0 to my original, right, and it works out, one moment, just mid-sentence. Okay. If I plug in 0 and it works out, then I know that it's this region I need to fill in. If it doesn't work out, then I know it's the other regions on the outside. It's either going to be one or the other. So at this point, let's take 0, let's plug it into our original. Let's see what we get. 0 squared, so I'm bringing this down here, plus 0 minus 12 is less than 0. 0 squared, 0, plus 0, 0, minus 12, negative 12 is less than 0. Is that correct? Is that true or false?
True.
True.
True or false? We know it's true. So because it's true, I know that 0, this is the region I want to select. And that's all. So jot that down. I'll just run through that last bit one more time. But basically, it's exactly the same. We already know how to do this. We'll get more practice today. It'll be fine. We know how to do that. Okay, one sec here. We plot the 2 points. I know it's open dot because that's what the problem had, open dot. The last step, though, is to see, is it this region in the middle, or is it the regions on the outside? So you plug in 0, that's the easiest number to plug in. And if it's true, which negative 12 is less than 0, all I do is put 0 in here. Put 0 in there. Negative 12 is less than 0, so I know that that's true. So yes, that's true that this is the area I need to shade. Okay, answer.
If I like forget about this in the homework, is it gonna be up on your YouTube channel today?
Yeah, I get it up before lunch. Yeah. So that's the key last point. All right. Thumbs up, sideways, down. I actually expect a lot of sideways to start. Okay, that's okay. We're like sideways and up 50-50. So I want you to try these problems. We don't have too many because we just did one of them. Okay. When we review homework tomorrow, we'll definitely have time for that. And we don't have time. We don't have time for the dance contest unless someone wants to do a walkout. Anybody want to do? Tomorrow. We'll just do it tomorrow. All right. 123rd gets Oreos or something like that. No time for a dance contest. All right, whatever.